everybody for joining us today on our weekly webinar. We're going to be talking about renewal excellence, streamlining your processes with the policy renewal workflows in InsuredMine. So as you see, Prakar is on the call with us and he'll be presenting today. But before we get started, talk a little bit about our agenda. We'll have time for Q&A at the end, but you can also post any questions that you have in the chat and we'll try to monitor those. Of course, we'll pause along the way to make sure that we answer any questions that you have. So with having said that, the workflow automation obviously allows you to streamline your processes through our engagement module. The workflows can trigger emails based on a predefined criteria. And then, of course, the system checks and accounts daily and sends those emails automatically. It's like having an electronic CSR, right? It does the work for you in the background. And then, of course, you know, we have multi-stage workflows in the event that you wanted to send anything on a specific day and time. And, of course, the templates that we have. So having said that, this is a little bit of a screenshot that we're going to cover. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and then Prakar, I'll have you go ahead and take it from here. And then,
thank you
like I
so
said,
much.
We'll pause along the way
Perfect.
and answer any questions.
Perfect. Just give me a moment. So here I go. So are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, indeed.
Perfect. So as beautifully Paula explained, so this is the particular webinar where we people would be discussing the importance of renewal process, renewal excellence. As we everyone, as all of us who have joined this particular webinar is very well aware about how much renewals are important in our insurance sector, basically, right? And we have also identified that there are certain gaps, right? Once we close in a specific deal for any particular customer, right? And at the time of their renewal, the entire year there is a certain gap, right? Where we people did not get engaged with our customers, right? So with the help of this particular webinar, with the help of the renewal automation functionality, this will give us an empowerment where we can directly get connect with our customers and let them notified that their renewal is coming prior 1 month or 2 months and try to get engaged with our customers. So that is which is very important for the renewal process. And this particular process is completely automated. So this is what I would be explaining, how we can set up our renewal process automation, right? And what are the advantages for the agencies to track and get engaged with our customers. So without any wasting our time, I would quickly move towards the engagement module. So on the left hand side, you could see the engagement module over here. And once we click on the engagement module, we have a third option of automations. So we'll quickly jump towards creating the automation. Right. So here you could see there are multiple automations as of now, but we are completely focused in this particular webinar on policy renewal. Right. So as of now, we have there are already some predefined criterias, right, which system has provided already to facilitate our customer to kickstart the workflow automation without any customizations. So we'll simply click on start. So over here, you could see the entire details are being visible, right? What is the name of workflow? What is the mode of communication is being triggered? So as of now, it's email. So this is something which is default and provided by the system to kickstart, right? And third, you could see the trigger before 60 days from the policy expiration date, right? So this communication would send out to our customer before their expiration date, right? And here you could see agent email notification is turned off. That seems its agent won't get the notification once the communication is moved out from the system, right? If the customer turns on the notification, then before 3 days of the first stage, right, customer agent will get notified about the automation which is to be triggered from the system itself, right? So as of this one is the recipient. Obviously, for the active customers, we would be sending the communication because they are carrying the active policy with us, and their renewal would be coming. And this is the most important stage, right? Drip stage, where we can get information about, right? The stage one is email, which is triggered before 60 days of the expiration date. Timings are mentioned, right? At the same time, weekend skip weekends are no. That seems on Saturday and Sundays as well, the communication will get triggered, right? Sender's email would be the agent email. From the agent email, the communication will get triggered. The subject of the communication or the email would be your policy needed attention, right? And here you can view the template as well, which would be triggered from the system to your customers. And this particular template contains the day expiration days left, right? And at the same time, their policy number, right? And carrier type, carrier, each and everything related to their renewal policy, which is coming just after 60 days, is visible over here. So now let's exit out from here. Then moving forward, we have the functionality of how many agent will get notified for, and at the same time for whom this communication would be sent. For example, Adams, all those agents are being check marked. For example, if I wanted to exclude Prakhar from this particular campaign, so uh, the agent Prakhar associated contacts will not receive this communication. So that's the primary motive of this functionality. And moving forward, we have the set start option. So just click on start and we are good to go. So this is something for the initial phase if you wanted to quickly start your automation, right? And then if you have certain criterias and customization you wanted, right, apart from the default functionalities, then we have the customization part as well. So let's click on the customization, right? So in this particular page, this is the place where you can customize your workflow policy renewal. So under this customization, we have certain modes of communication for this particular workflow, right? For example, email, you can send an email. At the same time, you can send text, postcard, you can create a task, you can set a reminder, you can drop a voicemail drop as well, NPS and pipeline cards as well, right? So we have certain modes of communication. For example, let's create a pipeline card and text as of now. For an example for a better understanding, right? The selected audience is active customer, and here is only an active customer option because obviously the policies are for the active customers only, right? And moving forward, we have filter options as well. In case some of our customers, some of the agents wanted to send only the personal line of a business, right? Person line of right? For them, they would be sending the communication, or for the commercial line of business, they would be sending the communication. And moving forward, we have certain criterias as well, like age group, branch, city, country, right, insurance type, lead source, and if there are certain tags added within the contact, right, so they can include that particular tag or exclude that particular tag, right? And if there are specific X date, right, that could also be done over here. So this is what filters you can utilize as per your personalizations, as per your requirements. Now moving forward with the create a filter. So here, as of now, you could see all of the system are not already not clicked in, right? Basically, and if you wanted to include, for example, I wanted to send the communication, renewal communication only for the customers with the policy category of auto and the International Group, I need to include the carrier. So only the selected one for those carriers and category would the communication would be triggered. Otherwise, if we won't select them, the communication would be triggered for all category and the all carriers based on the expiration date of the policy. Now moving forward is the set date. How many days before you wanted to send the communication? right? So this is something you can set from here. So basically, before after, before is the primary criteria, because obviously you wanted to notify your customers that after 60 days, after 2 months, your renewal is coming, right? And this is the particular functionality in case, right? In case any of your customers have two policies, right? Which one policy is coming under 60 days of period, and there is another policy, right, which is coming 70 days of within the period of time. So the system will send a single communication to that particular contact, right? So we will insert over 10, right? If we insert 10 over here, then system will track 60 days and also include 10 days. Total 70 days system will check, right? So that if the customer have multiple policies, right, and there are two policies within the period of 60 days and including 10 days as well. So system will only send uh, one single communication to that particular customer, because obviously we didn't want to send multiple communication to our customers, right, for multiple policies. So it will include that as well. Now, once the entire setup is done on the initial phase, let's deep dive into more to customization process and click on begin. On the bottom, you can see click on begin. So as you could see in the initial phase, right, we have selected three modes of communication. First was email, second was SMS, and third was the pipeline card, right? So let's review the email. Email is something most basic, and I believe each and every individual who have joined this particular call is obviously using the email campaigns and several other automations, right? So here you can directly pull your template, your if you have created a specific template, or you can, and at the same time you can choose the name of email address from which you wanted to send the communication to that particular customer for renewal, right? Subject line, you could see your policy needed attention. So make sure at the time of sending any particular communication, not only the policy renewal or any communication you wanted to send to your customers, right? Make that subject line more catchy, right? Because the initial thing customer used to see is the subject line. Then only he clicks to that particular email, right? And moving forward, we have the transactional type and marketing type. You can choose that as well, as in marketing or transactional, right? In case if you have selected marketing, right? And in case at that certain point of time, any particular customer have marked uh, uh, as unsubscribed, right? For that particular customer moving forward, marketing type campaign would not get triggered. However, at that certain point of time, we have another option of transactional as well. So those customers who have opt out or unsubscribed from transactional type, you have the another option to send a transactional, send them email with the help of transactional campaign type, right? And here you could set 60 days or at this time which you wanted to send the communication. The main thing is to take care of entire workflow is based out of central time, right? In case some of our customer is based out of Eastern time, or in case some of our customer is based out of Pacific time. So I would recommend to configure as per your time zone, right? Try to match the central time zone and Pacific time zone or Eastern time zone based, because the entire workflow get triggered based out of central time zone. So that's the important key factor need to be taken care while creating a workflow, right? So this gonna be the entire process, entire template, which is available within the system. And on the right hand side, you could see there are several tags as well. Those tags are used based out of the information available within the system for that particular contact, right? So system pulls the, obviously there is a large number of set of audience, right? At that certain point of time, each and every one want a personalized touch, right? When they receive an email communication from the automated system, right? So with the help of tags, that could be possible, right? And moving forward, if you want this particular communication would be sent out of 60 days. Now you want the another communication should be sent after this particular communication, then at that certain point of time, you can add the another stage, right? So on the another stage, you can select the template which you wanted to send to that particular customer, right? After after first communication, it seems to be 30 days, because first communication we have triggered at 60 days, then another would be on a 30 days. That could be done over here. This is something how you can teach second pipeline, right? And now at the same time, we have other functional mode of communication as well. We can set SMS as well, right? We can set pipeline cards as well, right? So there is another way of creating and tracking your renewals as well. Why creating and pipeline cards, right? If customer have the renewal pipeline created within the system, right? At that certain point of time, when the expiration date comes, right, for the any particular policy, the system will automatically create a card for that particular contact in the renewal pipeline. We just need to select the name of the pipeline. For example, renewal pipeline, we have set it over here. In which particular stage we wanted to create a card, right? As of now, 30 days, right? To which particular agent we need to assign this renewal card. Once the card will get created, let's select Prakhar as of now. So for Prakhar, this card will get created and automatically system will assign Prakhar as an agent, and Prakhar will get notified that there is an renewal for his customer after 60 days, right? There's going to be the same process and the trigger time. And on the bottom, you could see board type. Board type, it could be private or shared. It completely depends upon the requirement of yours, where you wanted to create the pipeline, right? So as of now, let's do the configuration and let's save it. Proceed with the next. So as the same process, this step gives you an overview, gives you an individual overview of the entire workflow we have set. That's called review your workflow. Workflow type, right? Name of the workflow. The mode of the workflow is email, text message, and pipeline card, right? What kind of communication would be shared to their with the help of this automation? First is email. Email is on stage 1 before 60 days, before at 10 a.m. CST, right? That's the same. Marketing type, campaign type, it's transactional. And the second one is the pipeline. In stage 2, we would be creating a pipeline card after sending 60 days of communication, and at the same time 30 days in second after 30 days prior of the expiration date of the policy, the system will create a card in the renewal pipeline if you have a renewal pipeline over there. And the same, the process contact type is active. The agent for this, all the agents are selected. So for all the agents, the workflow will get triggered, right? And if the agent wants a specific notification, then we need to click on the check mark so that prior 3 days of getting triggered first stage of communication, the agent will get notified. So this is something, the entire setup. And now let's click on start. Perfect. So now you could see it's been started, and let's review the automation which we have created as of now. So as of now, we have just created the renewal policy automation. You could see over here, right? So as of now, any particular doubt, Paula? Anybody have any particular doubt as of now?
Yeah, I think, thanks a lot. That's a lot of information, right? And I think that when we set up that workflow, one of the questions is about, it's really, you can set it up in the pipeline automation as well, or the renewal pipeline. What a lot of agents like to do is maybe they don't manage a renewal pipeline per se with deal cards, and they just want to maybe send out a renewal reminder. So this workflow kind of covers that. And what Prakhar is explaining is that in that workflow, if you wanted to get detailed, you can also set it up so that it does create a pipeline in a pipeline that you have already created for renewals.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you so much, Paula. So if we don't have any further questions, so let's move ahead with the analytics part. So as of now, we have created the campaign, right? So you can track the campaign which we have recently created. The agent is Leo DiCaprio. Name of the workflow is policy renewal. Modes are email, right? Task and pipeline cards, right? List type, schedule, email notification is turned off, created date is mentioned over here, right? And now we can track that as well. Yeah. So on the right hand side, you could see the workflow is live. So we can track that as well. View tracking. Under the view tracking, once it get triggered, right, you could see ever send, how many individuals we have sent the communication, how many have opened, how many have clicked bound rate and spam over the period of 30 days or today, yesterday, 7 days. So there are multiple options as well available as per your requirements. So as of now, for this particular workflow, we have selected 3 modes of communication. So as of now, we were on the email. Now review the text one as well. So same goes with the text one, right? And if you wanted to review how many deal cards is being created with this particular workflow, you can track that as well from here. Now let's get back to the workflow part again. So we have certain functionalities as well under the action button to delete the workflow, right? To edit it, to pause it, view the logs and track as well. So this is something where you can edit, pause the campaign and edit as well. Right, so this was something all about campaign. And now on the top you could see we can, this particular functionality also, this particular page also gives an ability to track your entire workflows in the sense your policy renewal workflow is also included, birthday upcoming birthday workflow is also included, your ex-date workflow is also included. So if you click on scheduled analytics, it gives you an insight that for a particular day, as of now, I have selected today. So how many, for this particular day, how many workflows are about to go, right? And if we select last 7 days, so you can track how many in last next 7 days, how many workflow will get triggered. So this is something scheduled analytics. And we also have the another functionality of send analytics. So in send analytics, you can identify how many communication are being triggered, right? So as of now, you could see two workflow is being triggered. First one is the personal ex-date, and the second workflow is the personal win back. So you can track that as well. And last 7 days, so you can see in last 7 days, those are the workflows which are being triggered to the recipient. Also, you can review from here as well, right? And at the same time, this is the place where you can track those all details. Now, if you wanted to track specifically for any particular recipient, right? So that could also be trackable, right? For example, if I select Robert over here, you could see the Robert. For Robert, the communication is being sent, right? And if you wanted to see what kind of communication is being sent, we just need to click on Robert, right? Once we click on Robert, we will land on the contact level page. So here you could see we landed on contact 365, right? Under contact 365, under the communication part, right? You can track. So here we can track entire details of the communication. So as of now, we were tracking on the workflow, right? So let's click on workflow. So under the workflow, you can identify the how many communication are being triggered for this particular customer. Perfect.
So let's pause a minute because we have some questions for Carr.
Yes.
So one of the questions is, what's the best date, 30 or 60 days? And that can totally be up to you as the agency. I know that if you're creating separate workflows for personal versus commercial, Then some agencies like to do commercial maybe 90 days ahead of time because those policies get worked more in advance than personal lines. And then maybe in personal lines, you might want to do 60 days in advance. So it really kind of depends on your agency flow. And then another question we had, Prakar, is if this integrates with our client management systems. And so it doesn't matter if you're integrated with, Epic or AMS 360 or NextShore or NowCerts. The policy data will come over from your agency management system into InsuredMine. So it'll know that once you start that renewal flow, that these people are going to fall into that criteria, right? If it's 60 days prior, and if you want to narrow it down, to 45 days, that's totally up to, yours. And
Yes.
then another question is which of the carriers sends the renewals out the earliest? Oh, so Daphne or Roger and Daphne are chatting back and forth. They set up the reminders to go out 15 days prior. So it really does depend on your flow.
Yes, exactly. It completely depends upon how you wanted to communicate with your customers. It's completely customizable as per the agency's requirement. And we have another question. We have one more question of Glenn, right? So he said, is it simple to split the commercial and personal to separate deal cards? So yes. So if you have a separate pipeline you have created, right? So you can name the another pipeline with the commercial renewal, and the other one you can name the pipeline with the personal renewal pipeline. And at that certain point of time, based on the filter, that deal cards will get created on the specific pipeline.
Yeah, and Patricia, if you have a question, if you can just put it in the chat, we'll definitely address that. Thanks for the thumbs up, Roger.
Maria, I have one question. Marketing type, is it for remarketing or renewal? So it's not related to the remarketing or the renewal part. Marketing type is something, a type of campaign basically, right? So in case you are marketing some stuff from the system, that at certain point of time you can send in marketing, like for example, there are certain deals and offers you wanted to display, you wanted to communicate to your customer. However, transactional type is something which you wanted to let them know that their renewal is there, right? And only a type of communication, single type of communication. That's the basic difference between the marketing and transactional, nothing else. It's not related to remarketing or renewal. And we have Patricia. Can we send more than one renewal message like 30 days before and then send once 15 days? Yes, definitely. We have multiple stages. The purpose of stages is the same, that you want a first communication to send 30 days prior the expiration date. Then after 15 days prior, you wanted to send the another communication to let them once again remind them that after 15 days their renewal is coming. So you can set multiple stages as well, and it will trigger accordingly.
And then we have another question. If we choose the emails to come from the CSR, then that CSR would be listed on the account. And then, because you can select who you want the email to come from, Prakar, when you went back and you set that up, can you show that again where it shows agent? And this is the demo account, so it may or may not have the CSR on the dropdown.
Yes.
If you have a specific email that you want it to come from, that's possible too, right, Prakar?
Yes. So I'll show you. Oh, oops, I just went out. No worries. Let's get back. We were over here, right? So let's talk about the existing one itself.
Do you want to edit that so you can show them?
Yes. Would be editing it. Click on. Sorry. Now over here, you can select. This is what?
Yes,
So you can select
so you may
multiple.
have
Yes.
CSR at, or it's
Mhm.
CSR, so maybe it's Betsy or Mary, whoever's on the account as the CSR, it will come from them. If you have it
Yes.
specific from email address, maybe it's info@insuredmine.com or marketing@insuredmine.com or whatever you have. As long as that email is verified in the system, then it'll show in the dropdown and you can send your communication in that from email.
Yes. And we were having the with the Glenn, with the help of same workflow we could do, right? One workflow we can run for the commercial line of business, and we can create the similar one for the personal line of business, right? So we can create two policy renewal for personal line of business and commercial line of business. So one personal line of business policy renewal workflow will only trigger for the personal line of customers, and commercial will only trigger for the commercial line of customers.
Right, so go back to where that filter was, because that's where that piece would answer that question.
Yes. So let's get back. So now over here, we can choose the filter out of your all active clients. Under the type, we'll select personal, right? And now let's save this. We have selected personal, perfect, save, and then beacon, right? So let's move out. Now over here, you could see the filter as well. Perfect. Update and start. Let's get back. Oops, I went little fast on edit.
You're very fast, Makar.
Sorry. So over here, account type and get. So as of now, I didn't know what's the specific issue, but you can find the identify the type of filter which is been applied. So I believe this is an demo account, that's why it's not getting visible over here. So you can identify that as well.
And Roger had a suggestion to everybody, so thanks, Roger, for your input. I know agents always find it valuable when you chat back and forth, because different processes that agencies do may kind of highlight what you could do or change to the processes that you have.
Yes, Glenn as well, and we can have multiple workflows as well based upon multiple filters. Perfect. Perfect. Any questions, Paula, we have missed in case?
There's no additional questions unless anybody has anything, nothing in the Q&A. So does anybody have this? I would like to know is, does anybody have this already set up in their portal? Just kind of put that in the chat. That would be helpful for us, and how it's working for you. And then I'll also post our knowledge base. And do you want to point out, if you want to go back to the workflow module?
Okay, let's get back to the workflow module.
Right, and then just click into automation, the word automation.
Just give me a second. Yes. Sorry, Paula.
Just click on the word automation.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then create workflow up on the top right, so you can see all the different workflows.
Yes.
And then what I wanted to point, click on that. And then what I wanted to point out was the help key on the right. Can you click on that help key?
Yes.
So it's a
Help
little
key.
small, and sometimes when you, in whatever page you're on in InsuredMine, there'll always be that help key on the right-hand side, and it'll load content specific to the page you're on. And then I'll also put in the chat our direct link to the knowledge base on those workflows. And thanks, Roger mentioned that he built custom renewal templates. So that's a great point, because while we have a lot of preloaded templates, a lot of agencies like to have branded content. So can you go back and then go into a template just to show
there what
how
I was
they would do that?
Yes, this is how is the page where you can create your template. And if you wanted to create your new template, so just click on right hand side top corner. So we have three functionalities over there: HTML importer, text editor, and drag and drop. So most popular one, which is used by our entire 80% of customers in InsuredMine, are using drag and drop builder, because that's with the help of drag and drop builder, the template becomes more eye catchy, and we can insert several different elements like images, links, video links, right? We could create as per our requirement. We can insert social media sites as well, our address. We can make it more catchy, right?
Yeah,
And more
it's like you
attractive.
have a customized header and a customized footer. You use it for everything, and then you save that. And then what happens is, if you want to create another template, you just make a copy, and then you can change the content, or I would say the guts, right? Or the content of the
And
community.
this is something most easier part. We just need to drag and drop as per our requirements. So it's quite simple for our customers. And moving forward, we have certain templates as well, which our customers can choose and edit as well. So for example, this one, let's select this one. So here you could find we have selected that, and we can edit as per our requirements.
So that way it's branded. So everything that you send out and the template gets saved, right?
Yes. Once we click on, once we click on save as well, so you can give the name of the template and the email subject line. So whenever at the time of creating any particular campaign, once you pull this particular template, automatically the subject line will also appear over there.
So can you talk about the ability to bring in a video into a template?
Yes, definitely. So we have, you could see, just we need to click and drop over here. Once it's been dropped, we just need to click over here, right? Just insert any hyperlink over here.
It's
For
specific,
example,
though. It has to be like YouTube or those specific ones.
Yes, we can also customize, right? We can also customize the thumbnail as well if you wanted to provide some any different thumbnail for that particular video. So you can choose and select that as well, which will come up over here, right? If you wanted to select the visuals of the video, then that could also be done over here, right? So that, and if you wanted to maximize and minimize the size, that could also be done, right? So if you wanted to add several paddings, right, on top, on bottom, that could be done. So as with this particular functionality, an agent can create a specific eye-catchy template specifically, and we just need to click on save. Let's, for example, let's click here, and subject line would be anything like this. Let's save.
So we have a couple of questions. We covered the video. Jim is asking if we were going to add more insurance templates. Not at this time. However, we'll always explore that going forward. If you have any content, you can always copy and paste that content and put it inside, you know, where you see your content. So scroll up a little bit, Prakar, where the text is. So it says, "Dear Mr. Smith," scroll down. right there, it says Dear Mariah, right? So if that you have that, my name is Jeff Patterson, the CEO, in that area, if you wanted to add a specific message, you could certainly do that. We also have AI. So up on the top left to where you see Leo
Right hand side
DiCaprio's
top.
picture,
Yes,
if you
over here.
have some content that you wanted to translate or maybe generate content, you could use our AI tool for that. So that's kind of a fun thing. And Roger has a good suggestion. So if you create your own template, you can use the tag contact nickname first name, right? And
Yes,
so that means that the system will look, and if there is a nickname in InsuredMine, it would, instead of Robert, it would bring in Bob. But otherwise it would be their formal name.
perfect. So let's get back.
And then let me
So
see
now,
what other questions that we have.
let's get back to engagement where we were.
We have a
Let's not
question
get
about setting
diverted.
a task in the workflow, Prakar.
Okay. Sorry.
We have a question about when you set up the workflow, you can add a task.
Yes,
or a
definitely. At the time,
reminder.
yes, we can set a task. So let's see how we can do that. So this was the existing one which we have created. Now click first. Let's pause it. So now once you pause, you will find that workflow under the paused option, right? So as you could see, we have multiple automations as of now running, right? So which one is the recent one? Is the last one we have just created, right? So here you could see we have created the text message pipeline email, right? So what we can do, click on edit, right? We need to select the task if you wanted to create a task for with the help of expiration date of the policy renewal. Then over here, just we need to click on task, and on what task you just need to give the name as to whom would be the assignee. So that was Prakhar. Set the priority, right? Let's consider it medium. How many days before it will due date of the particular task, you can customize that. If you want that particular agent Prakhar need to reach out to that particular customer within 3 days, right, of the task, or wanted to get this task completed within 3 days, so you can set the due date as well. Then task type, is it meeting, right? Is it lunch? Anything you can choose as of your requirement. So it's selected call, and how many days before you wanted to create the task for the particular agent. So that could also be done. As of now, 60. Perfect. So this is how you can do that. And at the moment, just save this. Perfect. Any questions as of now over here?
I think it just really depends on your flow, right? So if you just want to
Yes.
send out a simple reminder, the workflow automation is great. If you want to maybe set a task for your agent or CSR, so the possibilities are quite endless, not to be overwhelming, but it really just depends on how and what you want to communicate and when you want to communicate to that customer.
Perfect.
I have one unanswered question for Jim, so we may have to send you an email and the follow-up for that, but anything else, Prakar, that you can think of in the workflow
I
automation
probably will.
world?
Yes, related to workflow automations, the entire use cases we have already covered.
Perfect.
I don't think so.
I
Some
think,
other use case I am able to identify.
yeah, you can always look at the analytics right here in your workflow, but can you go to the dashboard and just show them the other options? We have a lot of places you can get analytics throughout the portal. So if you don't happen to be in the actual engagement module, but maybe you want to look at the marketing dashboard. And remember, so Prakar is signed in as an admin, so the admin can set all of this up. And if you don't have permissions to see the marketing dashboard, you can check with the admin at your agency. So go ahead, Prakar.
Yes. So here you could see under the marketing dashboard, you can identify the send automation tab where you can get the visuals of workflow automations which are about to send to the particular customer for today itself, as we have used the filter of today. Right. And moving forward, live feeds are also available within the here. Text campaigns are there. Right. And scheduled analytics is something where you can identify how many automations are scheduled for the day, right? Or for the next 7 days. So you can identify that as well from the marketing dashboard itself, because this particular dashboard gives an entire holistic view of the marketing activities which are being performed, because there are certain certain agencies who are majorly have a separate department of marketing and they are completely focused out of marketing.
Perfect. And Jim answered his own
Yes.
question. So thanks, Jim. I just found out the same thing. So he put the link in there. There is also some email templates that you can have access to. I do believe it's a membership. I don't really know, Jim, if you have access to that, but yeah, wherever you get content and you want to copy the body of any content and put it into your own particular template, then you can certainly do that.
Yes.
All right, look at us. We kind of moved right along, Prakar. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of functionality, a lot of ways just to kind of stay in front of your clients, and just to have that nice renewal reminder. There's many other workflow automations, and we'll continue to cover the various ones in different webinars as we host them weekly on Wednesday. So with that, if you want to go ahead and stop sharing, I'm going to share my screen again.
Sure.
Perfect. And you can kind of check the Q&A, see if there's anything else.
Yeah, I am on a regular check.
Oh, yeah. So Emma talked about changing the screen to have green wording instead of orange. Okay, so let me share. Can you share your screen again?
Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah, so do you want to go to settings and look at the different color options so you can set the different colors?
Yes, the first. Okay, yes. So we have the personalized part over under the appearance settings, under the appearance color themes. So you can customize as per your requirement. For example, let's do it this select second button column, then those get changed. If you wanted to change text, you can change the text as well.
Yeah, you can change the background color so it's not so light or stark.
Yes.
Yeah.
That could also be done. So we have certain visualizations.
It'll make your day a little brighter. If you want to be orange, we'll love you forever.
And there are certain font types as well.
Yeah.
If you can select the specific font type as well. So this font type would be active for each and every place where you wanted to set up a font.
Yeah, and so remember, sometimes if you're not an admin and you're an agent logging in and you don't see some of these features or functionalities, everyone should be able to see the color theme. But in the event that you don't see other things, it's because you're probably not an admin. So you can check with your agency admin for any additional items.
Yeah, additional item. However, Paula, this is the personalized path. This is available for the agents
everybody
as
has
well.
that.
Yes.
All right, so let's go back and if you want to stop sharing, to believe that was our last question. And then I always recommend in every session that, we do have our InsuredMine Academy. So if you're in the InsuredMine portal, you can go down to the very bottom left-hand module. It's the support module on the left, and access our InsuredMine Academy, or you can scan this QR code here. And remember, if you haven't logged in before, then you'd create or you would register. It recognizes your work email or your login email, and then you have to create a separate password Like we all need another password. It's a necessary evil in life, right? So
Yeah.
we have classes for InsuredMine agent and InsuredMine admin. So there's a lot of video for all the different modules and different functionality in the portal. So we highly recommend that you definitely take those. I posted in the chat earlier for our upcoming webinars. I put the link to insuredmine.com/webinar. And then our past webinars are always listed there. And we'll send a recap, probably Friday, for those people that attended with the recording from our session. So having shared all of that, I don't think there's any final questions, although we do offer
Not yet.
It's last call.
Yeah, it's a last call.
Hopefully, everyone has found it beneficial. If you did, please say thank you in our chat. We appreciate it. Thanks, Glenn. I know we had quite a few attendees today, so thanks, William. Thanks, everybody, for your support. And we look forward to seeing you on next Wednesday's webinar. I don't know what the topic is going to be, but I think it's related to workflow, but just a different workflow.
Yes, we are trying to focus on the several workflows as per the requirements of the agencies, right? So because several agencies have several workflows requirements. So we are taking care of each and every workflow in a single webinar itself. So that's the primary motive.
Perfect, perfect. All right, and don't forget, we sent out our monthly newsletter today. So if you haven't checked your inbox, it's all about sales pipeline and pipeline analytics.
Yeah.
And then there's also some other hyperlinks to other topics. So
Yes.
make sure you read that valuable information. That Prakar, did you put that together?
Yes, definitely. It's
job.
been rolling out, and basically the TEM newsletter is all about the sales dashboard. How
Yep.
you can track your entire leads come in, leads goes out, deal cards related, entire sales related activities you can track with the help of sales dashboard.
Yep,
So
thanks
that's
for
all
taking a
about
few time.
that.
Yeah, read the content we send you. It's created with love and help for you. And with that, everybody have an awesome Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.